Hi, everybody. My name is Hannah from the Wyoming branch, and I am here to share some great graphic novel picks for you for both teens and adults. So, all of these books I'm going to share with you today, I will let you know if they are available on physical copy, via Hoopla, or both formats are available for you. So, to give you a bit of a rundown of how this works, I am going to bring up the teen books first, and then I will bring up the adult books second, and I will let you know before I go into that more mature content. So let's get right into it. The first one I am going to bring up, this is really good for Star Wars fans, especially of the newest of the trilogies, is Poe has his own series. So this takes place after The Force Awakens, and this is available in both Hoopla and in physical format as well. So it's a really nice, just depends on how you prefer to read graphic novels. The nice thing about Hoopla is all of the volumes are in one spot, so you don't have to wait if you're really, really into them, which is really, really nice. But the main thing going on with Poe is he has been chosen by General Leia Organa to go with a small team to investigate some historic sites from past rebellion battles, because there might be something useful to the fight that they have now. So Poe is going with a small team. So if you like kind of Indiana Jones kind of stuff, Star Wars stuff, Poe Dameron's graphic novel series is really cool. What's also nice about it is the artwork is pretty fun. If you've read Darth Vader's Star Wars series, this is pretty familiar. And just if you're a Star Wars geek, you're going to enjoy that one too. If you happen to notice a title and you're like, oh no, I missed it, no big deal. I will list all of the titles and authors as a comment at the end of this video, so you can just write everything down. So no need to rush there. This next one I'm going to pick is actually a manga. I don't tend to share mangas that often on here, but this is a really cool one, especially for fans of sci-fi. And there is an anime out as well. Dr. Stone. This one is really sweet. So what happens in this one is everyone is turned into stone after a mysterious event takes place. And the main character, Yoshida, is stuck as a rock for 1,000 years. And he just awakens from his rock-like slumber. And thankfully his friend, Dr. Stone, who is a scientist, woke up about 9 months before him and was already starting to get survival going. So they team up to try to find a way to essentially make everyone not stone again, and other mysterious, cool things unfold there. If it's your first time with a manga, basically the only big difference is instead of reading left to right, you read right to left, which takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's worth it. And the nice thing about mangas is they're usually pretty small, so you can just fly through them. So you feel very accomplished, and a lot happens with them. And especially Dr. Stone. It's very action-based, and there's usually some good humor in this one as well. As of now, Dr. Stone is only available as a physical copy. So just a heads up with that. This next one is also available just as a physical copy right now. But this one is really cool, especially if you're on the younger sides. If you're more of a tween, this would probably be a good one for you. And this is Last Pick by Jason Waltz. So what happens with this one is aliens take over the planet. That's a bummer. And everyone is taken that is deemed useful. So everyone that is left are seen as too old, too young, or disabled. So not physically useful, so they just leave them there to fend for themselves, basically. And the main characters are twins, which are right here. And once they get older, they have a plan to rebel against the alien forces and team up with everyone that has been left on the planet to revolt against their enemies. So it's super cool. The aliens are really cool in it too. I'm going to give my screen a minute to adjust to the brightness. Beautiful. So if you like cool alien stuff, if you like good versus evil hero stuff, all kinds of goodies in there, then this is a really good one for you. There we go. This next one, this is really good if you liked Pacific Rim, Iron Giant for all those 90s kids out there. Just cool mecha and boy friendship kind of stories. This is a really good one. This one's only available on Hoopla. I do recommend it though, because Hoopla usually, they do a good job with their graphic novels, so they look really nice even as an ebook. But Mech Cat at You is the name of this one. And what happens here is there are these large mechas that come every few years. They choose a child to be their companion and pilot, and they are a team for life. So pretty reminiscent of Pacific Rim. Everything usually works out fine. The only problem is this particular mecha. Something went awry, and they didn't choose the person that was trained for it. Chose a complete stranger that was just kind of there by fate. So they have to quickly train someone that has no idea this even was a thing and become a fighting force to save the planet. So it's pretty cool. I enjoy it. It's fun. The main character kind of reminds me of a mix of like Ash Ketchum and now I'm forgetting the name. The name of the kid that was in the Iron Giant. Kind of a mix of that. The only real bummer, I'd say, is he's clueless a lot in this book. So if that kind of annoys you with main characters, maybe I would read another book. But other than that, it's super fun. And if you like mechas, you'll like it too. This next one I have for you is, let's see. This one's real sweet. This is Skyward. So what happens in Skyward is gravity fails for mankind. There's an event that happens. It only affects humans, strangely enough. And all of the humans, gravity just doesn't work for them anymore. So they go up and up and up and up. And if nothing stops them, they go up into the higher atmosphere and die. So a lot of people died from the initial incident, including the main character's family, except for her father. But humans are resilient. They make it work. And the entire society changes to learn how to function without gravity. So the main character is a courier. So she goes from building to building, bringing supplies and mail, because there are objects like gravity boots and other items that weigh people down that are like for the rich and elite. And then the poorer you are, you kind of have to make do with objects to keep you on the planet and keep you from floating away. So she's a courier that kind of helps the mail system work throughout it. She thinks it's great because she was born into it. She was literally born when the incident took place, but her father is trying to figure out a way to make gravity work for humans again. So if you want a cool sci-fi story, it's available in both physical form and on Hoopla, and the art's just really cool. You can't really argue with Image Comics. They usually do a really good job. Then that is a really good one for you. And then that is the last of the teen ones I have. These next ones I'm going to bring up, they're still super cool books, but just letting you know the content's a bit more mature, so there's going to be some more violence and sexual themes in it. So if that's not your kind of thing, I will give you a moment to hang out elsewhere, take a peek at my knickknacks that are behind me today. I have lots of dragons back there and all kinds of cool stuff. And yes, if you're curious, that is the moon rover chilling over there at the Lego set. So I think it's just us now. Beautiful. This next one I'm going to bring up, this is by Jeff Lemire. If you haven't read Jeff Lemire's stuff, please do so. It's just beautiful stuff. He's definitely the main graphic novel one-shot writer, I'd say, right now. And I haven't really ever read anything by him that I didn't thoroughly enjoy, especially if you're a fan of sci-fi. Jeff Lemire's stuff, usually you can't go wrong with it. And this is a really good example. This is Sentient. Right now, this is only available in a physical book form. But Sentient is really cool. So this is a multi-generational ship. So they're trying to find a better planet to live on because Earth's just not habitable anymore. But while that happens, some domestic terrorists take over the ship and kill all of the adults. So everyone younger than 12 got killed. So there aren't any more adults on the ships, but there's still tons of infants. And it's up to the AI system on the ship itself to raise the children and make them functional, happy adults. So it's this really cool AI sci-fi. It's got this cool what is humanity aspect to it. And it's just a cool generational ship. It's not going to be super action-packed, but it gives you lots of deep thoughts, and you just love the AI. She's really cool, and just seeing her try to figure out how to parent is amusing at times. This next one, this is really good if you read Bone or are reading Bone, and you just want more work, but maybe for a more adult flair. This is Rasl, or R-A-S-L. And this is by Jeff Smith. So also does Bone. And basically the main character is a treasure hunter. And he goes around and commits crimes and tries to find treasure. It's kind of like a sci-fi-ish pirate story in a lot of ways. It's cool. If you want a good adventure-y kind of sci-fi pick, that's a really fun one for you. And just the artwork is poppy and fun too. And that is available in a physical format. So super cool. This next one, I would call it humorous and melancholic at the same time. I have the book for this one. This is Moon Cop by Tom Gold. And a lot like when a highway is put in, the side streets start to get ignored and small towns disappear. This happened in the quadrant of the moon he is on. So he is the last cop on the moon, and you get to watch him do less and less important things. And it's just this weird but cool experience in how small you really are and how unimportant you can be in a lot of ways. And it's just a very pretty and simplistically drawn, but drawn simply with a purpose, which is something I thoroughly enjoy with this one. There's also some good humorous parts too, like when he's looking for a missing space dog and he's spending all day filling out reports just to say nothing happened. Good stuff like that. And it's just fun. It can be a little sad at times, but overall, thoroughly enjoy it. If you like sci-fi with a bit of a humorous twirl to it, Moon Cop is a really good one for you. The next one I have to share is the exact opposite of simplistically drawn. And this is Odyssey. So this is a sci-fi intergalactic retelling of the Odyssey, basically. And it is colorful, and it is beautiful, and it is just available on Hoopla right now, but don't let that scare you away, because it is just a beautiful, beautiful book. There we go. So, I'm just going to let you take a better look at it. The entire book is really colorful and beautiful. It can be a little tricky to figure out what's going on just because it's very experimental in a lot of ways. But if you want a pretty, just all the colors you can think of sci-fi book, Odyssey is a really cool one. And it's just nice to read a retelling of the Odyssey. It's fun. So, I've got a couple more to share with you. This first one is Ex Machina. And this is in a futuristic, kind of steampunky kind of town. And what happens is Ex Machina, superhero, retires to become the prime minister. And seeing all the weird government stuff that happens and just seeing society kind of go in funky ways. It's just a really cool book. So if you want superhero-y stuff, but not like DC or Marvel, and it kind of picks on the superhero tropes, then this is a really cool one. And it's just got some funny things that happen in it too, because it is an alternative universe as well. And let's try to see another good example of the pretty colors they use. Yeah. It's just a very attractive book set, and it's available in physical and on Hoopla. So if you want cool superhero retellings in an alternative universe, Ex Machina is a really good one for you. And then I have one more to share. And this is Shutter. Shutter's in a very alien world. This person used to go on adventures, seek jewels and fame, and just explored and explored, and eventually just had enough of it and tried to retire and just wanted a quiet life. But then the action-filled life came screaming back. So she got thrown back into it. So if you like a strong female protagonist, and if you like just really cool critters, and this book is never slow, which is also nice, then this is a really cool one for you. And the art is just quite pretty. It's quite pretty art. And as you can see, has a cool companion as well that looks a bit like the little clock cat that you could get, and kind of explains why the creatures are the way they are in this book as well. So if you want a cool adventure story in other worlds and all kinds of cool stuff, Shutter is a really good one for you. And that is all I have to share with you today. If you enjoyed this, I will take a break in December, but then I will be back in January with some more cool graphic novels for teens and adults. And it will have a new title called More Than Superheroes. Be a similar thing. I just won't bring up superhero books is basically the only difference with that. And with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful and safe holiday, and I will see you later. Bye.